Okay. Chapter 16. This is a doozy, and I knew it was coming. So that's the thing, is I know certain beats about this story, and so I kind of knew this was going to happen eventually, and there's a lot to this, so I'm going to try to approach this as best I can. So let's go over the overview of the chapter first. The entire thing is they're supposed to be going to school using James's mom's car, but they didn't want to go to school. So it's James and Abby and Davis, and they decide to go to a park because they're just going to cut school and go to the park, which I guess was a thing you did at that time. I don't know. I really can't talk about the legitimacy of whether or not that would have actually worked. But they're at this park, and they're talking about just hanging out and having a good day, and then Davis is like, hey guys, school's gonna let out soon, so we should probably get back so nobody, suspects that we just didn't go to school and fucked off in a park all day. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. So they start driving back, and then they see a guy jump off an overpass because he's trying to kill himself. And Davis gets out of the still-moving car on the highway, mind you, and goes to, help this dude. I guess it's different where Greg is from, but around here the speed limit's 70, and you can get severely injured getting out of a car going 30. So, I have no idea what the actual logistics behind that were, because it's kind of glossed over. It's not really that important that he got out. It's important that he was there. And then Davis gets hit by a car and dies instantly. And they're freaked out by this, obviously. And they have to stay there for the ambulance, and the guy's he's probably dead in an instant, and I don't know why he would just say that to these kids. That's kind of fucked up. But I don't know why they wouldn't have contacted his family first. But they didn't, and eventually James and Abby have to go home and tell his parents what happened, which is a little strange, but I guess, for drama's sake, to be dramatic, that is kind of a thing. And yeah, so now they have to deal with the fact that this kid is dead. Remember what I said about the friendly, everybody gets along, slice of life chapters leading into something horrible? Yeah, that's pretty much beat for beat here. Now, there is something I actually do have to address, because I have seen certain videos talking about this book before, and certain rebuttal videos, shall we say, from the author himself. So, I am aware that Davis is actually a character that Greg based off of an actual person he knew. Which is why I wasn't overly harsh to this character. I don't really get his sense of humor, but then again, I'm also, I was never into the same kind of comedy that they were, and I think I'm also younger than him. So, there's that. We just don't run in the same circle, so that's fine. I mean, comedy is subjective. So, that's fine. And I understand that this same friend who he based this character on did pass away. So, before I say anything else, on the off chance that, for some reason, I just seriously doubt he'll ever hear this, but on the off chance that he actually does hear this, I am really sorry about that. Nobody should have to go through that, even if I don't, even if I'm not a fan and there's certain things that he's done that I don't like, that's still pretty awful. And yeah, little human decency here, guys. So, that being said, I do have to point out how I don't personally, because a lot of this review is very personal, I do personally not really like that you went there. again, I do realize that this was a person in your life and they did pass away, but why exactly was that needed to be put in this book? I'm not asking from a logistical point. I'm asking from, like, a specific memories kind of point. Like, if you respected this person and you liked this person, why would you include this in this manner? This kind of seems like you started writing the story with him in it as kind of like a comedy sidekick kind of thing, because it's not a story about him, but it is somebody that you like, so you wanted to have him in it. But then to literally kill him off in the book in such a manner kind of feels like you're exploiting his death for fucking drama, which is really fucked up. And I may be way off base about that. I may be 110% off about that. And if I am, that's fine. But that's really not how it comes across. So, while I'm trying to be respectful, at the same time, I'm really fucking angry about that. That's actually really not okay. I have no idea what exactly possessed you to do that, Greg. I have no idea why you would think that's an okay thing to do. But I can tell you, as someone who has friends and family who passed away under different circumstances, I really don't think if I ever wrote a story that included a reference to these people, I would include the part where they fucking died, because that's kind of horrible. But again, maybe we all grieve in different ways. So perhaps I am wrong. And that's okay. I just really don't fucking think I am. There's not really much else to say about what exactly happens in this chapter, because it literally is just played up for this drama thing. This horrible event happens, and it's set up to be incredibly dramatic. James hates himself because I guess he couldn't do anything to stop this, even though it really isn't his fault. But irrational hatred of oneself over the loss of someone is absolutely a thing that happens. I don't think it happens that instantly, but, you know, time makes everybody see things differently. So, maybe again, I'm wrong. But then there's the last line of this chapter. I'm just going to read it to you verbatim. Quote, "Had Abby not been there, I would never have made it home that night. She was all that I had left." Unquote. Ending on a line like that implies, to me, the reader, very heavily, that you killed off this character to put yet another staple into making sure that these two stay in a relationship. Which seems really fucking unnecessary. Especially because your defense of this character is that he was based on a real person. Would this be okay in the actual real world? Would you actually approve of an actual friend or family member passing away so that you could score emotional points to hook up with the emo girl that you find totally hot? That is why I'm so fucking angry. I didn't get this mad at the school shooting thing, because it's a fucking farce. You made that up. That's not real. School shootings obviously happen, but this one was in a book, so it's not a fucking real event. But this, especially knowing how incredibly defensive you got over how anyone who talked about this character was, horrible because this was a real person, but you don't address this fucking point. That's why I'm fucking angry, Greg. That's why I'm fucking disgusted. The rest of your book is pretty funny, save for certain parts, which I don't care for, but we covered that. This has changed things for me. This has changed a lot of things for me. I can laugh at a lot of things. And if this was just another character, as in not based on a real person, like you continue to insist that he actually is, this would have been another comedy staple for anybody who reviews this. In fact, a lot of people who didn't know that going into this have basically said just that. Have basically said that it seems like you killed off a character just so that your two other characters would have even more of an excuse to bang on the regs. But I know about your defense of this character. And I know what you've said about this. Because I saw those videos. And I saw those little interviews. And I saw all the things that you said. But I never read this book. I saw those responses. But I never actually read this book. But now that I have, that's pretty fucked up, bro. It's pretty fucked up, man. I gotta be honest with you. I don't even know what to say. I have a rather specific level of vitriol over this. And I don't even know how to express that properly. I don't even know what to say, because yelling and getting angry won't change this point. It already exists. This is a thing that's already here. You know, it exists in the real world, so there's no way to change that. And I know even if we all got together as a wonderful collective, joined hands, brothers and sisters, to demand that you apologize for this as well as other things, you're not gonna fucking do it. So I'm not asking that. I'm not asking you to reconsider or change anything. I'm asking you to look in the mirror and think about what the fuck you did. Because if this guy was actually your friend, it's a pretty shit way to treat your friends, man. That's all I'm saying. This video went places, and I'm sorry about that, but this is going to be the end of it. I don't really have anything else to say about this chapter, and I'm sorry that you guys had to hear me get this angry through an entire fucking video. Yeah, it's been one of those nights. Anyway, the truth of this, however, the message that you should take away from me, and not, you know, onions are, is this. Care about the people who are in your lives. Just do your best to be just the best that you can be. Be awesome and kind and caring and loving, because these things come back to you tenfold. And you should just do that anyway, because that's the best way to be as a person. Take care of yourselves and be safe out there. I love you guys very much. I know I say that in every video, but it's never not true. And I'll see you in the next video, okay? Goodbye.